I'm going to begin this reading with two excerpts from News of the World before I read something from our local paper, because I like what this book had to say about this man who was a reader and read the newspapers. Captain Kidd laid out the Boston Morning Journal on the lectern and began to read from the article on the 15th Amendment. He had been born in 1798, and the third war of his lifetime had ended 5 years ago, and he hoped never to see another. But now the news of the world aged him more than time itself. I'm going to go to this other quote. And the newspapers, they say nothing about this at all, or about the poor at all, Doris said. There are great holes in your newspapers. Nobody sees them, but God sees them. News of the World. Good morning, it's Victoria from Ask the Straveleys, and I haven't done a newspaper review of the local town in a while, so let's get at it today, because the front page story is Senator Darren Thorne taking bullets, and we've got electric lines coming through here, and we're going to read this article. Senator Darren Thorne was seeking understanding Saturday, not just about how Hampshire County property owners in the path of proposed transmission lines feel about it, but for residents to understand the position in which he finds himself. Thorne figured he would face criticism at the public meeting he held Saturday evening at the South Branch Inn, and he was right. I want to add, I don't see any of our other representatives in this photo, nor them mentioned in the article. So they who must not be named know who they are, and I didn't go to this meeting because I just feel like I'm stepping out of all of this baloney. And I'm wondering, was there other representatives there, or was Senator Thorne the only one that showed up? Because that's pretty sad. You never leave a man behind, you know. Anyway, a crowd of more than 100 filled the room, peppering the senator with questions over the controversial projects, including his own actions and past public statements regarding them. Several people in attendance urged Thorne to not just try to make the best out of a bad situation, but to do everything in his power to stop the 500 kilovolts Mid-Atlantic resiliency link and the even larger 750 Valley Link lines, both of which would bisect Hampshire County with 200-foot right-of-ways, populated 160-foot metal towers every quarter of a mile along the path. It's not me telling you what needs to be done, Thorne said in opening the meeting. It's me telling you what they plan to do. That's what I'm doing, he says. What they plan to do. Because this is way higher than our senators. It's probably even higher than our president, even though some people would not like me saying that. There's nobody in this room who loves this county more than I do, he continued. I wouldn't stand up here and take the bullets I'm probably going to take today if I didn't. And I will say I do believe Senator Thorne does care about this county, and I think that he has good intentions. Among the first comments from those in attendance was that the project was a done deal, and that government officials had been bought off by the utility companies, suggestions Thorne adamantly denied, stating no state or local officials have been bought off. Well, I say go research, do a little research on some other representatives and lobbying. He said he has been involved in a lot of meetings since last fall concerning the project, and I've been told I can't stop it, he said. I'm sure he can't. He said if it's going to be stopped, it would either be at the federal level or the grassroots citizen level, because basically this is a modern day Highland clearance like in Scotland. only now it's for energy corporations. You may be able to do it, he said, noting that most of his fellow senators support the lines. Most of his fellow senators support the lines. There you have it. I'm just a little senator from the state of West Virginia. Thorne came under particular criticism for comments published in the Review recently. I want to go back to that paragraph there. You may be able to do it, he said. You, as individuals. I'm just a little, he says, noting that most of his fellow senators support the lines. So I will tell you again to go research the delegates. It's very easily found out what's going on. And we all should know about lobbyists. So I'm not going to name names because everyone needs to go do their own homework. Anyway, I'm going to close with him saying, I don't like change. I hated it when they paved my road, he said. West Virginians don't like change, and I'm that guy. I respect that statement from Senator Thorne. We don't like change, especially changes like this. So, go get your copy of the Hampshire Review. And there's also a great quote in here from Bob Mayhew. And I've heard Bob Mayhew, he spoke out at the train meeting in town. He's all for the Rockefellers. And I love Bob Mayhew. He has a cheery disposition. But Bob, you need to go research the Rockefellers, unless you're in bed with them. Research what they did actually to the miners and their families when they struck years ago. The Rockefeller Foundation is deeply embedded in WVU, into neural research as well. But Bob Mayhew says of Romney, noted that the Maryland legislature this year passed House Bill 1270, which opens up the Savage Forest in Garrett County, Maryland, to hosting the transmission line. So basically, we're in a modern war of Avatar, where they're just going to chop all of our trees down. I guess we'll have like the Lorax going on down here, living a Dr. Seuss movie or book. Anyway, Mayhew is quoted as saying, "What I'm saying is we probably can't stop it." Well, as my dad used to say, the Civil War changed. Romney changed hands in the Civil War how many times? And what people say can't be done, well, it won't be done. So, Bob Mayhew, hope that you go get these books, especially this one, which will detail to you how evil the Rockefellers actually are. They're not our friends. Sure, they do a little humanitarian work here and there just to make it seem like they're a good foundation throughout time. But they're certainly not humanity's friends. And they won't be the forest's friends. They're the New World Order friends. So, just a little insert in here. And to back up my statement made to Mr. Mayhew, I'm going to read from page 183 from Hope of the Wicked. Corporations as government. Rockefeller foundations were established by the corporate elite to create a new, highly undemocratic governing structure for the global economy. So, go get your copy of the Hampshire Review. And I think it's self-explanatory who's in support, who isn't. Go research lobbyists, especially in the arena of who's representing you. Research past history on some of these people and where they came from. Our delegates, I mean. Senator Thorne, he seems to have grown up here and he's local. Therefore, he would love this county with his heart. And others, well, go research them. You'll find out. And I also want to say, if you want to understand the full agenda, this is a giant book. It was at the Hampshire County Public Library. Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley. A history of the world in our time. very revealing about plans far above these people that are talking to us, plans even further above our presidents. Hope for the wicked is another one. The master plan to rule the world. And for those that love to quote Bertrand Russell, because he did offer quite a lot of truths, but he was playing for the other side, go look up the Scientific Outlook, because you'll get a glimpse into how these little freaks think of what they want for future society, their future scientific utopia, which is why they need more electric lines and data centers. So this is far beyond anything that most people can imagine. It's actually quite disturbing at a deep human level. And so anyway, I'm glad people turned out. But I think this is going to come down to, not such happy times. You might have to cowboy up, because money talks and agendas talk for centuries. Most of us are lucky if we know what we're going to eat for dinner tonight. But these people that rule the world sit and plan decades ahead. So these plans were already made. And it's up to you as an individual to make your choice and to take your stand when you need to. So go get your copy of the Hampshire Review. There's some other articles on here, but I haven't read them. I was more concerned about the front page. Taking bullets. Sad to leave your fellow behind. Thought y'all were supposed to be a band of brothers. Go get these books so you can understand what's going on. Especially if Senator Darren Thorne, you're true and honest about what you've said. You might want to know what's going on in the future. The rabbit hole is deep, my friends. Deep. And if people knew what was coming, what was planned, because I always have faith that God will step in and intervene, well, there'd be more than pitchforks in people's hands. That's for sure. And well, if you don't believe me, a woman sitting here alone in the woods in a dress, trying to find a job, you can go to a man's website with thousands of talks, hundreds of talks, YouTube channel too. It's called Debess, D-E-B-E-S-S. Mr. Alan Watt, Sir Alan Watt, I used to call him, because to me he was a white knight down here, trying to explain this world that we live in. And you can go to www.cuttingthroughthematrix.com to understand geopolitics on a very deep level, much deeper than any of us can imagine. So, don't take my word for it. A woman in a dress in the woods. A crazy woman, according to one delegate. Go take his word for it. A man who devoted his whole life to researching it in the Canadian forest. He devoted his whole life. Imagine that. To uncovering the truth. How dedicated that man truly was. For the world, not just for a country. His dedication to the world